Hi, welcome to the channel. I hope everything is well with you today. So if you don't know me, my name is Paulo and I'm here today to teach you the basics of Davinci Resolve. So if you are starting using Davinci Resolve, this is a great help for you because in this video I will try to explain a little bit of every page and a little bit of everything, the basics of Davinci Resolve. So Davinci Resolve is a great tool for editing. First, because you have a free version that is fantastic, that it has almost everything, and you also have a studio version. It's the paid version that you have to pay. It's not free, but it's a one-time pay, and you don't need to worry about because you have all the upgrades, everything, and you can also have it the paid version for free if you buy something from Blackmagic. Most of the products that you buy will also include the license. So this is a great tool. This is a tool that is used by professionals for color grading, special for color grading and for editing, of course. So today we are here to teach you the basics of that. So let's jump in the computer and see if I can explain you a little bit of everything. First of all, let's start Davinci Resolve. So if you don't have Davinci Resolve installed, it's very easy to install. You just download it, go to the Blackmagic site and download Davinci Resolve, and the installation is straightforward. It's just by start and install it, follow the steps, and very easy. So when you open it, opens this. So you have here the projects that you already done, and in here you can, if you want to open one, you select it and open, or if you want a new project, you come here and select a new project, and you also, if you come here, you can see that you can import or export one of those projects. So let's start a new project. Select new project, then it will ask you the name of the project. Let's, in this case, I'm gonna put it test and create. It will open Davinci Resolve. So this is Davinci Resolve. It's in the cut page. We can go to the media page, but first let's set our settings for our project. So we come here to this gear and we press it, and here we have the main settings for your project. So as you can see, we have all of this, but today we're gonna start just by the master settings. So let's start here. So this is the timeline format. So this is the format of your timeline. So let's put it in 4K. I normally use 4K. So let's use here 4K HD, and I normally work in 24 frames. So it's this, and this is the video monitoring. Is this only for viewing? So I will leave it as it is, and all of this, and I will click save. So let's start by the media. So the media page is where you import all the clips to your project. You have different ways of doing it. I will try to show you two of them, two different ones. First one, it's very easy. You have this here, the Explorer. It's like your Explorer in your computer. Here I have this SSD, so with my, let me open here, and here I have the media. So as you can see, we open it and it shows here the media. You can select the media like this and like this, and you drag it over here, and if the clip that you are importing, it's not the same frame rate as your project, it will ask you if you want to change your project frame rate. I don't change it, so let me don't change. This is one way, or you can simply open a folder on your computer and drag it from your folder directly to here, and it's done. So it's very easy to import. Okay, so in here you have over here you have this, the audio. You can select the audio, the metadata. If you select the clip, you will have here the metadata of your clip. As you can see, it was shot in H.265, 4K, 23.976 frames per second, the length 31 seconds, okay? And this is the audio and the other clip, and here we have the inspector for the video and the audio, and in here you have the media storage and the clone tool. So let's go to the cut page. This page I normally don't use it, so I normally do all my work in the edit page, but I will show you how you can use the cut page. So here we have our media pool with the clips, all of this, but let's start by here. If you select one and double click it, it will appear here in the viewer and you can play it. So it will play and you can see the clip, and this is helpful if you have a clip like this one, a big clip, and you want to just use a part of it. You can come to the place, for example here, and imagine that you want to from here forward. You can come here and press I for input and it will select this, and for example over here and select O for the output, and we have just this selection. Now you can come here and add this to your timeline and it's here, okay? So that's the main function of the cut page, is to cut all the clips and put it on your timeline. Let me come here to the media, let me add another one, for example this one, and add it. Now you can do the same. So this one, put it over here, let's select it here, input, and let's come over here, around here, and output, and now you can add it also to your timeline. So this is the main functions that you have for the cut page. As I said, I normally don't use the cut page, I normally do all in the edit page. So I will come to the edit page, and as you can see, the edit page, it's a little bit more complicated. So let's start by explaining everything. So here is the viewer, and here is your timeline where your clips live. So you put all the clips in here, everything. You can use it and put it in here. This will have multiple channels. You can resize all the channels. So from here down it's the audio channels, and from here up it's the video channels. So here in our left we have the media pool over here, and here we have the effects. Of course you can deselect this and have the media pool, the effects, and the sound library, but I don't use it, and the index, so I don't use. Normally I have this like this, and in this side we have the metadata or the mixer and quick export, and the most important for me is the inspector. So I have the inspector and the mixer over here. So this is everything you have. So if you want to add a clip to here, you can drag it over here, as you can see, and it's done. If you want, as you can see, it's too big, you want to resize, you can press Alt or Option and use your scroll wheel to reduce or increase the size, as you can see, like this. Or if you want to change it like this, you can press Control and use your mouse wheel as well. Another thing, if you don't want to use the audio from your clips, from these clips, you select the clip, you right click your mouse, and you have this option, link clips. You can deselect it, and now you can delete your clip. One thing important is the delete here. If I select this and press delete, it will do this. If I want to delete it and leave the space open, use the backspace, okay? Now we can do the same here, link clips, and I use the backspace. So here we have it. So we have our clip. And now imagine that very short, you want to increase it, you can move this one, and we can, because if you cut it but you don't cut it, you just use that part, you can increase it like this, and now you can put it back again. Here are some tools, and you can see that this one is highlighted, that is the snapping, and this one is the link selection. This one is very important, the snapping, because it will snap to the end of the end or in the beginning of each clip. Okay, now let's add some transitions from one clip to the other. For doing that, we come here to the toolbox, and in here you see video transitions, audio transitions, title generator, all of this. But let's start by a transition. Let's add a blur dissolve, for example, here in this, and you can adjust the transition, increase it or decrease it, and this is the final result. And let's add another one to here. And if you put over the transition, you can see, if you pass your mouse over the effect, you can see, let's do this, and this is the result like this. Okay, so here is where you can edit, you can resize it. Here in the inspector, you can resize your clip, select the clip and resize it. And if you want to undo it, you can click over here, undo, or if you can double click in the word and it resizes. Okay, you have all these options to do it. Now let's jump to the Fusion page. So the Fusion page is a little bit more complicated. So here it's where you can do all your graphical work, your effects, everything that is more complicated. It's here that you can do. I have a video in my channel, and I will leave a link down below explaining a little bit of the Fusion page. So if you want to learn more, go there, and I hope that video will help you to understand how the Fusion page works. But here in the Fusion page, you have, this is a node base, so this is the media, it comes from the timeline, and this puts it back again in the timeline, and everything that is in the middle over here, it's what you are doing. For example, if you want to add a text, you come here to the text, you put the node here, you will select here the output and put it over here, and it will be merged, and the text, we will write some text. As you can see it over here, you can change the call or do whatever you want. But so here it's where you create your graphical elements like titles, lower thirds, callouts, all of that. Let me remove this. Okay, now let's go to the color page. So here it's where the magic happens related to colors. This is the most powerful tool of Davinci Resolve, and Davinci Resolve is known by its color grading and color correction tools. This is also a node-based page. It works with nodes, and it's not like layer-based, it's node-based. And I also have a mini series of 3 videos in my channel explaining how this page works and how the nodes work and all different nodes that you can use. So I will also leave a link down below. Now here it's the same. You have your LUTs in here, you have, because it's selected, and the clips over here. You can see the clips over here, and in this side you have the option to close or show the timeline, the nodes also, and here the clips. As you can see, this will appear and disappear, and all of this. And you also have the effects in here that are very useful. I normally have the effects, the timeline, the nodes, the clips, and the LUTs over on the top. And here on the bottom, here in the middle, it's the clips and the timeline, and here on the bottom is where you change everything related to the colors. So as you can see, this image is not bright, it's not it's a little washed out, and here is where you can adjust it, and in here and here are the scopes. You can use vector scope, you have all this parade, waveform, the vector scope, and histogram, and this one. So I normally use the parade and the vector scope. So let's start by the parade. So let's adjust this a little bit, so you can, as you can see, it's pushed to the highlights. So let's pull it down a little bit so you can use the offset, because the offset changes all a little bit. As you can see, look, it's setting this. Now you have the lift, gamma, and gain. So the shadows, midtones, and the highlights, you can push a little bit here, look, the difference. And you can push the highlights again, and you can adjust like that, look. And you can, here you have the temperature, you can change the temperature. Double click will reset the tint, the contrast. Let's increase a little bit of the contrast, the pivot, mid details, all of this, even the saturation and the hue, all of that. And you also can go to the HDR palette. You can also use all of this, and you can use the curves over here. You have all of these options over here. So the masks, all of that options that you can use, but it's not for this video. So after you correct your image, everything, you have the edit, everything, it's done. Let's add some audio. Let me decrease this a little bit. We have an audio track in here. You put it in here from the beginning. Now if you come to the beginning and play it, you can hear the audio now. If you want to adjust the audio, as you can see, you can, if you pass here, you see these two arrows. You can pull it down, it will decrease the audio, or if you pull it up, it will increase the audio. Now let's go to over here to the end of the clip, and let's cut the audio. To cut the audio, you can come here and select the blade tool and cut it. You can cut also the clips, you can undo it also. Now let's put the select tool again, and let's use the backspace, and it's done. It's the same size. And if I come here, you can notice this white dot. You can move this, and this will fade out the video, and you can also do it on your video. Look over here, now it's black, and if it's okay, it's too high. Now let's go to the Fairlight. The Fairlight page is to adjust all related to the audio, so you can do all the fancy things here to the audio. Let me increase this. You can resize here, look, increase this, and you can see the waveforms of the audio. And this is the two channels. In this case, it's the one channel and the output. You can adjust the levels also in here, and you have the effects here, and this effects is the effects that you can add. For example, you can add chorus to this, and it's here. If you, let's put it this on loop, it's this one, and if I play it, you can adjust. You can adjust it, and you can add another, like this one. You can add this, and it's an EQ over here. You can adjust it like this. For example, let's look. So you can do a lot with this. And after you add all the edit, you have added it, make and added all your graphical elements, adjust the colors and adjust the audio, you go to the deliver page, and here is where you set the export uh, settings for your project. So in here we have the viewer, the timeline, the clips, and in here we have the render settings. So we have the presets over here. Normally I use the customer export. So in here is where you set your name for your project, for your clip. Let's put test. This is where you want to save it. Let's come here to the desktop, save it over there. Now you have the video settings, the audio settings, and the file settings. Normally I will come here, you have here the format that you want to use. You have all of this, and as you can see here, vocoder, this is not a part of Davinci Resolve, this is an extra, this is something that I installed, and I highly recommend you install it too, because this allows you to export ProRes and other formats that are not included in Davinci Resolve. So if you want to install it, you can also watch a video that I made it in my channel, and I also leave it down below in the link. Okay, so normally I will export an MP4 H.265 auto in 4K 24 frames per second, everything, and now come here and add to render queue, and when you press it, it came to here. So you can do another project and edit and do everything and add to render queue, and you can have multiple projects here in the render queue, and you can then render them all. So if I press render all, I only have one, so it will render. This is very quick because the clip is short, and it's done. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to our clip, and if I press it, and it's, so as you can see, it's done. It has the music, everything. Of course, you can add more features to your clip, and Davinci is super powerful. You can do a lot of things. Your imagination is the limit, especially if you go to the Fusion page. It's incredible what you can do in the Fusion page and in the edit page. And of course, if you have the studio version, the paid version, it has a lot of options that you don't have in the free version, but you can do everything that I did here. You can do it in the free version and more, of course, because I didn't do not a lot of things. So I hope this information was helpful, and if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, if you want to help, just ask me in the comments below there. I will have all the pleasure to answer you, and I hope this information was helpful. And if yes, don't forget, hit that like button, that helps a lot. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and hit that notification bell to be notified next time I will launch a clip. Until there, bye!